Let me tell you something, and I want you to really hear this. You don't make a man want only you forever by chasing him, checking him, begging him, or trying to compete with other women. That never works. A man commits for life when he realizes he's standing in front of something rare, something peaceful, something he can't replace once it's gone. Let me explain something about men that a lot of women don't understand. And once you get this, your whole approach to love will change. A man values what he has to work to keep. I'm not saying play games. I'm not saying act cold. And I'm not saying be difficult, though. I'm saying effort creates attachment. When a man knows he can do the bare minimum and still keep you, his heart never fully settles. But when he realizes he has to show up consistently, now he's invested. See, men are built to pursue. From the time they're young, they're taught that anything worth having requires effort, jobs, success, respect, pride. Nothing valuable comes easy. Love is no different. If a man doesn't feel like he could lose you, he won't fight to keep you. And that's not cruelty, that's nature. The problem starts when a woman gives everything before anything is earned. She gives time, attention, forgiveness, loyalty, and emotional access without requiring consistency. So the man relaxes, not because he doesn't care, but because there's no pressure to rise. Comfort without responsibility makes a man lazy in love. Now listen closely. Making a man work doesn't mean making him suffer. It means allowing him to prove himself, showing up on time, calling when he says he will, being emotionally present, respecting your boundaries. When he knows those things matter, he starts paying attention to how he moves. He thinks before he acts because he knows actions have consequences. A man becomes attached to what he invests in, his time, his effort, his energy. Once those are poured into you, walking away becomes harder. That's when he starts saying things like, I can't mess this up, and I don't want to lose her, not because you begged him to stay, but because he earned his place. Too many women think love means making things easy for a man. No, love means making things clear, clear standards, clear expectations, clear boundaries. When a man knows exactly what it takes to stay in your life, he steps up or he steps out. Either way, you win. And let me say this part gently. When you overextend yourself, when you're always available, always fixing, always forgiving, you rob a man of the chance to grow. Growth happens in responsibility. If he never has to earn you, he never fully respects what he has. A man respects a woman who doesn't chase him, but doesn't punish him either. She's calm. She's confident. She's consistent. She doesn't threaten to leave every argument, but she also doesn't tolerate being taken for granted. That balance right there, that's powerful. When a man feels like he earned you, he protects you. He shows up differently. He listens more. He values your presence because he knows not everyone gets access to you. And once a man feels that, once he realizes what it took to have you, the thought of losing you stays in the back of his mind every day. That's why the strongest women don't beg for love. They allow love to rise to meet them. Let me tell you something real, something life teaches you the hard way. Your self-worth sets the ceiling for how a man treats you. Not your beauty, Not how much you love him, not how loyal you are, self-worth. A man can sense it without you ever saying a word. When a woman knows her value, she moves differently. She doesn't rush to explain herself. She doesn't overreact to silence. She doesn't chase attention that should be given freely, and that energy, a man feels it immediately. It makes him careful. It makes him intentional because he knows he's dealing with a woman who won't lose herself to keep him. A lot of women think loving harder will make a man love deeper. That's not how it works. Love doesn't grow from sacrifice alone. It grows from respect, and respect comes from how you treat yourself when nobody's watching. If you excuse bad behavior, accept mixed signals, or stay quiet just to keep the peace, a man learns that you'll always bend. Not because he's evil, but because humans respond to what's allowed. See, confidence isn't loud. It doesn't argue. It doesn't prove. A woman with self-worth doesn't need to announce her standards. She lives them. She doesn't threaten to leave. She knows she can. That quiet knowing changes everything. When a man sees that you're okay on your own, that you're not afraid of being single, that you don't shrink, when he pulls back, something flips in his mind. He realizes you're not dependent on him for happiness. And instead of relaxing, he leans in, because men don't value what feels desperate. They value what feels secure. Self-worth also shows up in what you don't tolerate: disrespect, inconsistency, broken promises. You don't fight about it. You don't beg for change. You simply step back, and that silence hits harder than any argument. Not silent treatment, clarity. Calm distance that says, this doesn't work for me. Here's the part many people don't like hearing. You can't make a man treat you better than you treat yourself. If you don't believe you deserve effort, he won't give it. If you don't believe your time is valuable, he'll waste it. If you don't protect your heart, he won't either. A woman with self-worth doesn't confuse attention with commitment. She doesn't confuse chemistry with character. She watches patterns, not promises. And when she speaks from strength, not fear. That kind of woman makes a man slow down because he knows one wrong move could cost him access. And let me tell you this clearly. Self-worth doesn't push the right man away. It scares off the wrong one. A man who wants control will feel uncomfortable. A man who wants ease without effort will disappear. But the man who sees your value, he rises. That's why when you stop asking for reassurance and start requiring consistency, everything changes. You don't need to say, choose me. Your life already says it. Your peace says it. Your boundaries say it. And a man either matches that energy or realizes he's not qualified to be there. A woman who knows her worth doesn't need to be perfect. She just needs to be grounded. And that grounded energy is what makes a man want to stay aligned, because losing you would mean losing something solid, something rare, something he can't replace easily. Let me tell you something men don't always know how to say out loud. A man doesn't stay where he feels confused, judged, or emotionally unsafe. He stays where he feels peace and consistency. That's where his heart relaxes. That's where his guard comes down. You see, the world already puts pressure on a man. Expectations responsibilities, stress, pride. So when he comes into a relationship, he's not looking for another battlefield. He's looking for a place where he can breathe. A woman who brings peace doesn't mean she never speaks up. It means she knows how to communicate without tearing everything down. Consistency is what creates safety. When your reactions are unpredictable, when love feels hot one day and cold the next, a man never settles. He stays alert. He stays guarded. But when your energy is steady, when your words match your actions, when your emotions don't swing wildly based on fear, a man starts to trust the space he's in. Peace doesn't mean silence. Peace means you don't weaponize emotions. You don't punish with attitude. You don't test love by pulling away just to see if he'll chase. That kind of behavior creates anxiety, not attachment. A man can love you deeply and still feel unsafe if he never knows which version of you he's walking into. When a woman